Sure. Judges are different than other elected officials. We run in January. We start running in January. And how it works is all 82 district court judges are up at the same time. And so if a judge is unopposed, and I was unopposed, you're on the primary ballot, and then you're considered the winner, declared the winner, and then you're not on the general election.
How does that take the stress off of you having to not campaign again?
Well, it's, the cost of campaigning. I ran in 2012, and campaigning is expensive. Just the attending the events, the campaign signs, the fuel to get to all the places, it's rather expensive.
It is, and for a candidate having to run, especially if they're an incumbent, it's kind of like reapplying for your job, isn't it?
It is, and I will tell you that I'm friends with a number of the judges in the 8th Judicial District, which is Las Vegas, and I know one of my friends has spent $194,000 on her campaign up to about 3 weeks ago, and I don't know what she spent in the last 3 weeks.
That's insane to think about the money that you're spending on this campaign to keep this job.
It is. I have to tell you, I was appointed originally. It was a pretty rigorous process, a very thorough application. Part of it was available to the public, part of it was not. They ran credit checks on us, did background investigation on us. Then we were interviewed by the Commission on Judicial Selection, which was half Democrats, half Republicans, half were attorneys, half were not. And then the top 3 names went to the governor, and I was interviewed by Governor Sandoval, who ultimately appointed me. Now, I just got back from Judicial College, and I was with 60 judges from all the different states and Guam, and most of those judges don't run as a full election. They do what is called the Missouri plan, and being from Nebraska in the Midwest, what they do is the judges are appointed, and then the public votes on them for retention. And I honestly think that's a better plan. And the reason I'll tell you that is most people don't understand the concepts of jurisdiction and venue and statute of limitations, and a lot of the technical legal things that you have to know as a judge. And so they don't know if you're a good judge or a bad judge, or whether you understand those concepts, or what type of lawyer you are. For the district court judges, we all have to be lawyers, have been licensed to practice law at least 10 years. So that's why I am a favor of a modified plan. Go through a rigorous background and vetting process, and then voted for retention by the public.
And that even seems to follow through with other candidates and other positions, is that sometimes the voting public doesn't know as much information about them that they probably should know.
Well, I agree with that, and I think, most of the public doesn't have time to come to the courthouse and sit into the court proceedings. They don't understand necessarily what goes on. Sometimes I'll pick up an article in the newspaper and they'll say, well, Judge Wanker didn't allow this such and such evidence in. Well, I can't. The statutes say, the rules of evidence are it's presumptively inadmissible. So, there's a lot to the practice of law and the understanding of the law from the behind the scenes that maybe the public doesn't understand.
That's so true in so many cases, even in legal matters with the police. They can't release information that sometimes the public wants to hear, but it might jeopardize the case.
Absolutely. You can't release it. And I will tell you that, as a judge, we apply the law. We don't necessarily agree with the law always, but we have to apply it. That's our role. Our role is not to legislate from the bench. That's our assembly and senators' job, but we're simply to apply the law as it's on the books.
So how many more years do you have left of your term before you do have to look at possibly campaigning again?
Well, officially, my new term starts January 5th, 2015, so I'm still under my old term, and it's a 6-year term. So, about at the 5-year mark, I suppose we'll be filing, and then we'll be running again for a whole 11 months, which is a long time. I think the public's tired of seeing all the campaign signs. I personally think it'd be better if we had a 90-day primary and a 90-day general election for everybody.
Judge Ken Jasperson was saying that he would like to see them having a review instead of campaigning again.
Well, like I said, I think that's why I like the Missouri plan. It still lets the voters vote. And I'll tell you that voters do have power. In Iowa, in one election, they voted out every Supreme Court justice on a retention ballot that year. So it still gives the public the power to decide yay or nay, but it isn't a full-blown election. The people are vetted out because, anybody can run for judge who meets the qualifications of the office, whether they're good, bad, indifferent, and maybe the public doesn't know that. So it's nice to see them vetted and thoroughly reviewed, and then have the public decide whether they still want to retain them.
Do you think that that's being even looked into at this point?
I don't. I know a few years ago there was an initiative that was defeated, quite soundly by the public. But I think part of that was it wasn't put out there very well. A lot of it is explaining to the public why we're doing what we're doing, and sometimes as judges we don't do a good job of that.